Okay. You know, I probably should have put a Kershaw leak up here somewhere instead of having a QSP penguin. But that's not going to happen, so... Need a pry bar. Where's my pry bar? What's up, Eagle Scout? How's it going? I'll be back here in a sec. I'm taking off peppers from a frozen pizza because I don't like peppers. Good enough. All right. While we wait for the oven to heat up, I need to dip the stone. Watch. Where's my watch? Not in this room. So how's people's night going? All messages. Anybody who gets this would find it hilarious. About 25 more seconds until the stone is finished. And a couple minutes, or maybe a minute or two. Yeah, a couple minutes until the oven is prepped. Well, that soaked it all up really quick. There we go. That ain't gonna move much. And we'll be sharpening QSP Penguin in just a minute. Okay. 18 minutes until the pizza's done. Thoughts on the Canna Onion Work Sharp. I don't like using belts. I feel like they waste more material. I've heard it works fine though. God, that is soaking up quick. Green scales. Where? I don't think there's anything with green scales within sight. Damn! Could you drink any more? Frickin' thirsty. I don't know which one you're talking about. If you meant the one in the top corner, it is black. Could you soak shit up any faster? God damn. No, I want to be dry. Fuck off. So getting used to stones, it takes a bit. You mean you just don't have any practice? And you don't want to hurt your knives, or? I don't think what it was made for really matters. Where is my wiping rag? Damn it, I used that thing for... Oh. Yeah, let me just hide it under the strap. That's understandable. The person I recommend watching to learn is Outdoors 55 on YouTube. Very knowledgeable. Stiff cleavage, God. I've seen some great names tonight. Okay. Yeah, the person I watched and learned the most from was Outdoors 55 on YouTube. His name's Alex. He's really good at what he does. And what he does is sharpening. I have heard of that. I've never done it. Because just about every knife that I sharpen I have an understanding that I might fuck up. There's one knife where I wish I would have done that, but I didn't, and it now has scratches all over it, and there's nothing I can do to change that. It's an understanding that sometimes things go wrong, and accepting that is a great way of starting. I'm sharpening it now. D2 is decent. Edge retention wise, as for stainless properties, not stainless. Yeah, I'm not happy whenever it happens, but sometimes it does, and I understand that mistakes happen. Good night, early morning. It is nighttime still for another 11 minutes. You can be nice to the nerd whenever you want. I'll have just chosen not to do that. It is 11:49. Where is my piece of paper? Oh. It's $45. Last time I checked, it was 40. That needs a strop. And we'll try sharpening that icon knife. What is up, Chef Rocky? Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think I've ever seen Idaho. I don't think I've ever seen you in one of my streams before. What's a decent knife? Yeah, I've got one right here on the table. You lost your everyday carry. Anybody else who's ever lost a knife in here? How do you deal with the that horrible loss of your knife? How do you deal with the pain, the suffering? You're looking to get a new everyday carry. Okay, what are you looking for in a knife? I don't think I've ever lost a knife that I was carrying. I've lost other knives, but never the one that I had in my pocket. And by lost, I mean they're probably somewhere in the house. Yeah, that's how the tip ends up being on these things. Reverse Tonto. don't know about a whole lot of reverse Tontos. What's your price range? Because the first and one of the only reverse Tontos that comes to mind is the Benchmade Osborne. 50 to 60, that cuts the Osborne out. Something ain't right here. Q-tip. Triple blade knife. What? Which knife? Something easy to sharpen. You are asking a lot from me. Specifically because I don't know of a whole lot of reverse Tontos. God, why do you keep soaking up everything? So, first we're going to talk about this thing real quick. It's not a terrible knife in my experience with it. It held an edge just fine, but it kind of sucks at cardboard. No, I don't get the hair whittling edges. I'm not that good yet. I did let it soak in water. Soaked for a minute like it was supposed to. I get a good edge though. But yeah, this thing's a really thick blade, and it's it doesn't have a great angle for cardboard. It takes a lot of effort to cut through cardboard with this thing. Annoyingly so. For use in food, such as cheese, it also sucks. For meat, though, it's decent. Yeah, cheese. Like a brick of cheese. Appreciate it, Chef Rocky. Yeah, you guys don't cut food with your everyday carry knife? You probably won't be a mod right now, AJ. It's harder cheeses. The one that I've got in mind isn't really hard, but it's pretty much just like a 2-pound brick of cheddar. And it doesn't cut cheddar very well. Yeah, dude, I use my knives on food all the time. Well, who said you're going to eat straight cheese? And that is, Dong Slayer, why people carry 2 knives. Sometimes You use one for one thing and one for another thing. Kind of like how sometimes you'll carry one really nice knife and one piece of shit knife. So when somebody asks you for a knife, you hand them the cheap one. I sold the fixed blade and the cheap, crappy knife that was with it. I made $20. No, not the D2 knife. I still have that thing for testing. Got a little under 2 minutes left for the pizza to be finished. The Icon knife. And this is one of those knives, somebody was asking about it earlier. This is one of those knives where I often wonder if designers ever actually plan on carrying the knives that they design. And the reason why this comes to mind is because the forward, god damn, everything is in the way. The forward facing shape of the blade, rounded like this, feels weird. Now it didn't have any problems deburring. "38 seconds until the pizza's done." Yeah, it was deburred before I even brought it to the strop. Damn. If I had any receipt paper left. Look, I just want to talk to people and ask. Thank you. I know the pizza's done. And ask why they design things like this. Hey, cool. Something to not burn the shit out of my hand with. That is not done. Because my dumbass, you guys are going to love this, stuck the pizza in at 350 degrees instead of 450 degrees. I'm so smart. So I just stuck it up to 400 and then we'll sit here and wait and see. I don't know, I didn't even pull it out. I just stuck it up to 400 and we'll see what happens. The downside is now I got to check on it periodically. The bright side, they used cauliflower instead of dough. So, woohoo, I guess. You have a good one, TJ. We'll see you later. Yeah, and it's not way more expensive. It's like double, and that's it. The bag knives glimpse or mini glimpse uh, is 80 with, I'm pretty sure, the same materials. The cauliflower dough doesn't change the flavor. I will be completely fair when I tell you that. Nitro V is really nice to sharpen, huh? Yep. My favorite pizza is Meat Lovers. I like the 5 meat stuff. So I've got 2 of these. Yeah, Nitro V is really easy to sharpen. Stick it for another 5 minutes and see what happens. Then I'll check every 2 minutes after that. Well, I don't think they're customs. The bag knife that I'm talking about, I don't think it's a custom knife. Damn it. Okay, so for anybody who's wondering, this is this. This is the Beg Knives Mini Glimpse. $72. We'll see you later, AJ. Have a good one. So is this one made in America or is this one made in China? And it is made in China, so got me sitting here wondering. Yeah, you're right. The jimping on this, that looks painful. Compared to this, it's a lot smoother. That just looks like it's gonna hurt. But yeah, it is basically the same knife. And there's a lot of people who will say you shouldn't buy it because it's a clone of a better knife. But or a more expensive knife or whatever. But like they're both made in China. And don't get me wrong, I completely understand the sentiment that one was cloned from the other one and that that's not good. But the problem there is this one has a lifetime warranty and the bag knives don't. Let me see if I can remove... I don't think you can remove the backspacer on this and still have a functional knife. Maybe, but we'll see. I'll take it apart real quick and we'll find out. Oh, I was just talking about removing the whole backspacer. The timer's about to go off. I'll be right back. One more minute. That looked pretty good in there. I've never had a pocket clip on one of these break, but if it did, you just bring it in and get a new one. Like, they give you a whole new knife. Yeah, I take knives apart for maintenance all the time. And I'm sorry I didn't eat dinner at all last night, or tonight, and it's past midnight, so I'm trying to make something for dinner. Oh, yeah. Well, that's just awesome. I made it wrong, and it ended up less burnt than usual. Well, I'm not going to eat right now. It's got to cool off. It's 400 degrees. Anyway, back to what we were doing. I should probably have the mat up here. Let's clean up and put the mat up here. Okay. So all this mat does is helps with organizing. It doesn't mark anything. It's just I put things in the squares and it's no, this thing sucks at cutting cardboard. It's decent for food. It just sucks at cardboard. Okay. I end up eating the whole pizza normally. I think it's like 1,000 calories or something. It's really low in calories. Maybe 1,500, but considering I don't think I've eaten anything all day. Dude, when I hit 700 subs, so I screenshot every massive milestone. And it always just blows my mind every time that it gets higher and higher. Fine. Pry bar it is. Please forgive me for using my Spyderco as a pry bar. Oh my god, he's using a Spyderco as a pry bar. Shame. Shame on you. Like, shut up. My knife. I'll do with it as I please. And when it's not sharp anymore, I sharpen the shit out of it again. And when it finally dies, or begs for forgiveness, or begs to die, or whatever, I won't give it the sweet release of death. I'll just continue sharpening it again and 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 again. So I don't think this is going to work out the way I hope it is. But we'll find out. What do you mean there goes the tip? It barely had a tip to begin with. It's a funky shape. That was actually kind of funny. I'm not gonna like laugh out loud on that one, but that was pretty funny. No backspacer. It's a lot less grippy. A lot less. Noticeably so. That backspacer adds a lot more grip than you'd think it would. It's a lot more comfortable like this, though. So the tools you'll need for this are fire, a T8 Torx bit, and a T6 Torx bit. Well, why do you need fire? Because they dip the shit out of this in Loctite. You need fire. So a lighter, which is what I use. Right here, a pink lighter. Because it works just as good as every other lighter. And people try and make fun of it, but I don't care. So basically, just so everybody knows that this is safe to do on this knife, here's what I do. I grab the knife, I hold it back here. I grab the lighter, I hold it up here under this, right there. I light it, and I sit there for 10 seconds. This will not damage the G10. It won't do anything. All it does is get this really, really fucking hot. And then you slowly, and I mean slowly, do this until it comes loose. My favorite car, I don't know. I have a few dream cars though. Nope. It is G10. G10 is known for being semi-fire resistant up to like 700 degrees. It is also fiberglass, not plastic. Yep, A soldering iron would work better, but all I have is fire, so we use fire. Ooh, that was close. It's a lot harder to take apart again without the backspacer. The backspacer, there was a lot of leverage for prying. So now here comes the begging question. Can I take this thing back apart? Oh. Oh, yep, there we go. Make me. It's my Spyderco. What are you going to do about it? I bought it for $20 at a pawn shop. And I'm not the one that abused it first. That was the previous owner. It is on ball bearings, yes. Not the best set of bearings, but it is in fact on ball bearings. Now, the place that you can get this set that I use, the Torx bit set that I use, is at Harbor Freight. It is around $10. I'm doing all right. How are you doing, Ron? And it also has a lifetime warranty. It's cheap. The tools break often. Like, I've replaced the whole set 9 times. Exactly. That is the only reason I recommend this knife, is that lifetime warranty. Yeah, I don't have enough money for anything from the Winter Blade Company. What other stuff can we sharpen? I think the Para 2 needs resharpened because I destroyed the edge trying to cut glass with it earlier. And you know, I never did truly verify if it was hard enough to cut glass. Who wants to watch me destroy the edge of a Para 2? And yeah, this is a pretty good little knife. Spyderco Persistence. So glass is only so hard, right? Some steels are harder, like Maximate. This is S45VN. It has been heat treated higher than it should have been. And I want to know how high. So, here we go. No way. You're shitting me. Yep, I got it for 20 bucks. Holy shit. This is 67 HRC. It cut glass. Just barely. You'd barely feel it. This is 5 points higher on the HRC scale than it's supposed to be. Oh my god. That explains a lot. Specifically on why I'm having so much issue sharpening it. I tried cutting it earlier, and it didn't really, I didn't try very hard. I didn't push almost at all. But I gave it a little bit of pressure, and it cut. So now, to sharpen this completely dull edge, we've got the Chieffer Cut 400. It will make it more prone to chipping, yes. The Spyderco? You mean the $20 one? I had to negotiate. They wanted like 40 for it. 30, not 40. Oh, they knew what they had. I don't think they cared very much. But yeah, being at 67 HRC, it's pretty prone to chipping. It is barely hard enough to cut glass. Okay, swapping sides. Using it in the opposite direction of the usual cutting for a little bit more even wear. Okay, is chat broken? No, it is not. I know people on a, like, I talk to a lot of people at pawn shops. If you have a good reputation and you're nice to people, that'll get you a long ways. Highly recommend not being a douchebag to your local pawn people. Gives you a good chance at getting decent deals. You have a good one. We'll see you later, like next week, Eagle Scout. Sure, but if you're nice to people instead of being a douche, like you don't have to be neutral to people either. If you're nice, that'll get you better deals than if you're neutral too. The burr already almost across the whole thing. Probably not. I don't think Eagle Scout EDC has a gun channel. That feels dry. It sounds dry. If he had a big channel, I'm sure he would have told me about it. Considering I've been on his live stream for the past 5 hours or so. 4.5, 5, somewhere around there. That's more like it. I think it's just a coincidence. Yep, I go there every Saturday. So I will be there tomorrow. I've started also doing knife sharpening for them. For any knife that's over $50. Now for the burr removal. Yep, you never know what you're gonna find at your local pawn shop. So it is water with a bit of isopropyl alcohol and Dawn dish soap. One soft pass. Devo Knives has some new stuff coming out. Good. Ooh, that is scary sharp. Toothy edge. Needs a strop. Once it's stropped, it'll be nice and sharp. So we'll go ahead and strop it, because we want sharp shit here. Because a sharp knife is a safe knife. Not anymore, guys. Dull knives are safer, according to Outdoors 55. Yeah, I don't have anything from Devo. I've never had the money. I've never seen one pop up in an auction yet either. Oh, that just feels... Ooh. Dragon Castle, what's up? Still had some issues sharpening down towards the base. Right there. Okay. I only just really started stropping like a week ago. I used to use just a piece of leather, which was just this piece of leather, and then I just put some stainless polish on it, and that stainless polish made an insane difference. It is such a large part of finishing an edge, and I just kept pushing it off. My edges don't need it. They're sharp as it is. Nope. Nope. That was that last step from sharp to holy shit, I just cut myself super easily kind of thing. And no, I didn't just cut myself. For anybody joining just to me saying that. So real quick, we're going to take this thing apart. Guess we're not taking that one out. So for this Spyderco, this is a PM2. When you're putting this back together, you want to start with the screw that's furthest towards the back. This one, then this one, then that one. If you do it another way, it ends up being a lot less smooth. Oh, what are you taking your PM2 apart for? I'm going to polish the washers again, because there's a little bit of stickiness going on when opening that. Gimme. That didn't do shit. All right. A lot better. Okay. Now we take the pivot out. Don't drop that screw. Take the pivot collar, or whatever you want to call it, out. The thing that the blade rides on. Then we've got this, stick it in the same area. And it is pretty shiny, but it has wear marks. A lot shinier. Okay. So now we put this thing back together. So this PM2 is a unicorn, basically, because it's been heat treated wrong. And I'm surprised that the blade is still in one piece, other than the tip being broken off. That part doesn't surprise me at all. You mean the Buck 110 auto? I think they're overpriced for what you're getting. The materials are just sad for how much you're paying for it. I think it's like $200 or something. It's cool, but yeah, once you realize that you're getting subpar materials for the price, you start second guessing yourself. Congratulations on hitting number 1. Oh, what did I tell you guys? You got to put these in order, or tighten them in order, or things don't work out perfectly. Things end up being too tight. Oh, the downside of cleaning these things. The biggest downside of cleaning these is once you're finished cleaning them, well, thank you. Appreciate all the subscriptions, honestly. I'm surprised my channel's gotten as big as it has. Often makes me question how I got here. For being as hard as this stuff is, I'm perfectly happy with it being that sharp. But for regular D2, three fingers. Middle, ring, and my thumb. No effort. That is how sharp your knife should be. Shipe. What the fuck does shipe mean? Yup. It could always be sharper, though. It can always be sharper. I just want to show you guys the difference between an X-Acto knife blade, and I haven't used this for much cutting at all. All I use it for is for poking. Okay. Tearing. Lots and lots of tearing. Clean cut. Use it to poke pieces of paper to pick them up. Well, that's sharpness. That right there. Yeah, this thing doesn't even feel sharp. But yeah, I do this, and that's how I pick up all the paper. Anyway, guys, I've been streaming for... Holy shit, there's 30 people in here. Watch them all leave right when I say that. And... oh, I got more. Weird. We'll see you later, Hunter. Have a good one. Seven to 12 degrees per side. So 14 to 24 degrees total. And I have no clue what angle I sharpen at. If I did, I'd tell you guys, but I just kind of do what works. Yeah, don't pull all-nighters. I don't recommend that. It fucks with your sleep schedule, and then you'll end up like me, who's eating dinner at 1. They're red or burgundy. It's the Kaiser original. 154 cm with red rich light scales. This thing weighs almost nothing. So rich light is the handle material, and it's made out of paper. It is, I believe, resin infused paper. Really, really, really light. We can look that up. What did I call that stuff? Rich light, that's what it was. R-I, it's rich light. Richlite. But yeah, it is resin infused paper. Pretty cool stuff. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here. I'd love to keep going, but actually, we got 7 minutes. I'll give you guys 7 minutes more of my night before it is 1 a.m. and I decide that I want to eat that pizza that's probably getting cold right about now. The joys of YouTube. Cold pizza on a Saturday morning. It's not cold beer on a Friday night. But I don't like beer anyway, so woohoo. I'm just really glad that now that summer's over, the streams are back to normal. They're back to doing good numbers like they should have been doing. It's a huge relief to me. Because I've been sitting here, I want to say, trying to, no, I've been struggling to keep the motivation up when I'm sitting here with like 4 people, and don't get me wrong, I appreciate the 4 people for showing up, but you know, I used to be doing like 40, and then it just drops down to 4 and it kills your motivation. Serrated knives. Either fully serrated or not serrated. I don't like half serrations. There's a sharp X-Acto knife right there. I found another blade. No, it's a really annoying thing trying to sharpen a half serrated knife. You sit there sharpening like somewhere between half and 1/3 of the blade. But I'd much rather have either a fully serrated knife. I don't have a diamond rod. I don't have anything to sharpen serrations at the moment. I did have a diamond rod. I don't know where it went. It's gone. I wouldn't say it depends on the knife's workload either. Um, One of the knives that I really wanted but couldn't afford at the time, and I'm not even sure if it's still available anymore. Where did my other phone go? God. Well, that shit's gone forever until I find it after the stream or something. Can you see my phone on the table? Because I can't. It's not in my pocket. It's not underneath me. Oh, dumbass. Right underneath this. Right here. So we're going to go to the Blade HQ website. I'm going to show you guys. The Spyderco Ambitious. So the Spyderco Ambitious comes in a 2.25 inch fully serrated blade in S35VN. Right here. So it's adorable. It's got that non-serrated tip that's great for puncturing and stuff. So this is the knife that you'd want for something like cutting rope. Fully serrated, and it lasts, according to Spyderco, edge retention with fully serrated knives is increased by roughly 3x what the regular blade will do. Something that people don't know. Fully serrated knives with wide serrations specifically, like this, these are wide serrations. Those ones cut cardboard great. I've just come to notice that every time that I get half serrated knives, they don't cut anything worth shit. You've got like this much usable blade length, and the rest of it's for like sawing stupid stuff. And they do serrations wrong too. That's the other thing. Is when they do serrations. Give me a sec. They should be huge. Like this. Okay? And these, that makes sense. Yeah, that's about half the size of the large serrations. This makes sense. But when you have those really tiny ones with the tips that stick out really far, those aren't great at anything. They get caught on everything, and they don't do a single job great. They do a whole bunch of jobs terribly. No, I just want you guys to get the best shit for the price, right? The best knife. I'm not going to call it the best knife, actually. The Ambitious, that's fully serrated, is $80 in S35VN. Okay. The regular plain blade version is 102. These are the same knife, but one is serrated and one isn't. That's $20 off because people don't know that fully serrated knives are great at cutting cardboard. So H1 is weird. H1 and H2 are really weird steels in the fact that they aren't treated hot. They are cold treated. They're cold pressed or whatever you call it. So how H1 and H2 work is instead of being hot rolled into bars, they're compressed into bars cold. There's no heat treat at all. So they're not hard, or they're not soft, but they're not really hard. And the other weird thing about H1 and H2 is when you're well, that's how they make it so stainless. I'm pretty sure that's how they make it as stainless as it is. Because there's no heat treat. H1. Yeah. 14 to 16% chromium and 6 to 8% nickel. Now let's look at H2 because that's an upgrade of H1. H2 doesn't show up on my app. Oh wait. 9K H2. Okay. And yes, it affects its grain structure quite a bit. So what H1 and H2 do that's really weird is as you're cutting cardboard with them, they get harder. It's called work hardening. And you can, how many points of HRC gain can you get from cutting cardboard? That's interesting. Just gonna make sure that chat's fixed. The work hardening heats it. You can heat treat H1 from work hardening. So this says work hardening can significantly increase the hardness of H1, while typically martensitic steels used in consumer knives might be around 55 HRC. H1 with 90% cold reduction is reported to reach similar hardness. So H1 sits around 55 HRC by the sounds of it. Some sources suggest that H1 can even reach 63 to 64 HRC with work hardening, potentially surpassing the steels like AUS 8 in terms of wear resistance when used in thin polished edges. Now, I highly doubt that you're going to be able to pull off getting it up to 63. Yeah, it is great for, it is a very, very stainless steel. That's interesting. So yeah, now you guys learned something today. Anyway, I stayed up longer than I wanted to. Well, I stayed on stream longer than I wanted to. But yeah, Spyderco got it to work harden up to 68, which is wild. That is disgustingly high. Hard enough to cut glass with H1. I'm telling you, if I ever get something in H1, I really want to test this. I really do. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it for tonight's stream. Appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully you have a great rest of your day, night, morning, whatever it is. And we'll see you in the next one. Probably tonight. Have a great one, guys. Thank you, Johnny. You have a great night as well.